Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So it's been 6 months since I picked up the X-S10. Let's see that focus. There we go. And I have it in a small rig cage. We'll get to that in a minute. And I wanted to give you guys my literally honest feelings about the use of this camera, what I feel about it, you know, the lenses I think work best with it, and do I think it was a right decision for me to get this lens for the purpose that I got this, or a camera, excuse me, purpose that I got this camera for. When it comes to the X-S10 and its build quality, I'm super excited about it. When I did my initial video of this, I was blown away by the hand grip, as you guys can see right here. The hand grip there, and that's the cage itself. I like what Small Rig has done with their recent cages releases for Fuji cameras, but it doesn't get in the way of the grip. But man, that grip is fantastic. The build quality itself, more so than my remembrance of the X-T20, it's a lot better build quality. And from what I can recall from when I had the X-T20, I don't feel like this camera, if it falls, is going to break. I don't feel like that if I accidentally throw it in the bag or drop it, that it's going to be, you know, scuffed up and so forth very easily. It has, to me, the same build quality of my XH2, my XH2S. I feel it actually felt better build-wise, strength-wise than when I had the X-T5 in my hand. Dare I say that? Yes, I said it. And when they came out with the X-S10, I thought, you know what? I see where Fuji's going. They're looking at that XH line, and to me this is more reminiscent of a smaller brother for the XH2, XH line in general, and I like it. I like it a lot. As far as the button placements, I have no issue. Whoops, sorry about that, I dropped the mic. As far as the button placements, I'm pretty happy with the button placements on the back. I'm pretty happy with the toggle. I think that toggle is perfect for the size of the camera. Again, as far as the flip out screen, it operates just like the X-T4 and the XH2 and XH2S. I use those cameras and I'm pretty happy with that. As far as things that I wish they would have done a little better, the eyepiece. Most people don't talk about that. It is pretty flat. It's a lot of plastic. The rubberized part is just on the very rim, as you guys can see, of it. And yeah, it's kind of similar to the X Pro 3. It's kind of similar to the GFX 50R, which I have in the fact that it's really, it's not that comfortable. Other things as far as negatives, that's really it. Except for the other big negative is the battery. With as much space that's down here, as you guys can see, I truly believe they could have put the same battery that's in the X-T4, XH2, XH2S in here, X-T5, and I think that would have been stellar. So when it comes to accessories, that really is where you bump this camera. And generally, like the X-T20, 30 line, you give them a lot more wow, aha, and usefulness for you and what you plan on doing. This being a mainly travel camera for me, I didn't know if I was going to do an L bracket. I did go with the cage. I'm glad I did, because it really just doesn't take a whole lot away as you look at this small rig cage away from the camera. It doesn't add a lot of bulk. It definitely securely wraps around it, and then I can build this thing up and down as I need for whatever I'm doing, whether I want to do mostly video stuff, put a monitor on it, everything working off of the cage. So definitely accessory wise, Small Rig is a big winner on this. Other than that, as you guys see, I have the little X hot shoe thing on there. I have it on my cameras. I like to cover my hot shoe with something a little more substantial than a plastic one. Not to say that the plastic one doesn't work. I use Peak Design straps and anchors, and that's it. I don't really see this being a super accessory monster. You know, it doesn't have the same shutter button, so you really can't accessorize there like you want. Yeah, you could put the sticker ones on, but I'd rather have the screw-in shutter, soft shutter release button. I think they look way cooler. And then, yeah, I think for me the biggest thing is either getting an L bracket for this thing to help with that bottom finger grip, or getting a full wraparound case like I have like from Small Rig on here now, so you can really build up and build down this camera for what you want to do video wise, and may even want to do for stills. But the next thing I want to talk about is really subjective, and that's the lenses. What's the best lens for this thing? Well, it really comes down to you and what you're doing with it. For me, using this for travel, there are two lenses I'm going to use on this the most. And it depends on, again, what I want to do. I'm either going to use the OG 18 to 55, and real quick, I'm going to show you guys the profile it gives. This is a small zoom lens, but it's, to me, their best. And there's your profile. Hold this way. So here's my profile on the camera. Not that bad. I can hold it like this, like I normally do. Flip the screen to myself, and bam, not that bad. There's my flip screen. There we go. Not that bad. Okay. It does protrude, but it's a zoom. But when it comes to travel, this is it. I'm done. I'll put my little mic on here if I want to do some vlogging and mic myself. Doesn't add too much to the girth. And then, and just to give you guys an idea of that, you know, I just have one of the Godox ones, and I know there's various brands out there that you can get now for miking up your set. But there's that, and just having that on, you know, it doesn't really add that much to the setup, and it's just a wonderful lens to have on here. And do video stills, you travel with it, you got good reach. It's basically a standard zoom 24 to 75-ish type of lens. The next one I would use, and this one's a little longer, but it gives me a little bit more feature set to it, is the power zoom, which I use a lot on this actually. But the difference between the two is that length. So the power zoom is definitely longer, but because of its build, it's not that much heavier. But yeah, this one, and I'm gonna put the hood around, that is a lot different of a lens, okay? A lot different. But I will travel with this. I've had fun with this traveling. When Florida, I had fun with this at, like I said, the bird meetup. And I'll show you guys that video, snippets here and there throughout this. But I love this combo. It's not too wielding for me. Yeah, it's as you guys see, it's definitely protruding. But it makes, to me, for what I got this camera for, a fantastic travel setup. And when I'm out wanting to do some video for vlogging, I've used this with the, and I forgot to talk about that accessory. I've used this with the new Bluetooth tripod, and it's fantastic. It syncs up very quickly with it, and I've actually been able to use the power zoom features of this lens. But that's the zoom lenses. When it comes to the primes, I think the smaller the prime, the better, because it helps with the profile. But you can pretty much use any lens you want, guys, honestly, on this camera. It will work for 26 megapixel, that same sensor that's in the X-T4, I believe. And it just does great there as well as it does on the video. Definitely a little slower than, say, the X-H2 or the X-T4 as far as its autofocus speed, but that's to me is expected because it's a less expensive, camera. In conclusion, I would definitely get this again. I've enjoyed this camera a lot. I use this primarily for my talking head pieces. It would actually be on the stand filming me now if I wasn't doing a review of it. But right now I have the X-H2 going on there with the 16 to 55. So you guys let me know what you think about that. And yeah, I would absolutely get it again. Even with this little quirk with the little dial on the top with no markings, it still has been a very easy camera to use, and that's the key. It's easy, it doesn't get in my way. I'm in the Fuji ecosystem, so the menus are the same, and it makes for a wonderful travel companion for me when I'm out. And that's the goal, right? You want to make sure your gear doesn't get in the way, and it definitely doesn't get in the way. So I know what you guys are thinking. What about the X-S20? Well, I always feel for me to upgrade my cameras, and I try to not let gas get the best of me, it has to be a significant change. The X-S20 is taking two issues out of the, it's giving me two things, which makes it of Makes it a challenge for not me, I can't even talk. That's how much of a challenge it is. Makes it a challenge for me not to look at it and not maybe want to try it out and maybe want to, you know, upgrade. The biggest thing is the battery. It uses the same battery as the XS2S, that is, as well as XT4 and XT5. I think that is fantastic. That means I'm going to be able to go a lot longer with this camera than I can right now. Not to say I'm really having issues, but that is a nice perk, and I think it should have been in the XS10. It has the new sensor going into it, I think, if I'm right. No, same sensor. It's got, supposedly, according to Fuji rumors, it's going to have the new processor. That is a nice to have if you're using it to do the same things that you're doing with the XT4, XT5, XH2s, which is the autofocus tracking. Don't know what it's going to be like with the old sensor in it, but it is going to give you more tracking options, to be more specific. I'm fine with what it is now. So really it comes down to is, for me, already having the XS10 and those who do have it, do you want the better battery? And that's, to me, I don't know if that's enough. And that's because in my situation, I have enough batteries. I have the X100V and the X Pro 3. So I have 3 cameras using that battery, but gas. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about the XS10 if you had a chance to use it. Let me know what you think that you would do or how you would use this camera. Based on my experience and based on what I feel about this camera, I think it's definitely going to be one to look for, especially on the used market if folks upgrade to the XS20. So with that, have a good one, guys. See you in the next video.